Is it Manor, Wilson, or Mana?
Mana.
Mana.
Mwalimu English.
Mwalimu English wangu ndo
is a big factor, man.
Ndo ina depend.
Mwalimu English, hapo ana come into play.
All right, so the word is on the screen. How do you pronounce it? Like Elementaita Manor, Mana.
Wewe ndio iko hapa.
Okay. I go there and every apartment imeshikana ingine imeshikana ingine imeshikana ingine.
My only response is that is Kenya for you.
Okay.
Siko najua ita cost hivi. Kumbe kujenga foundation ni bei.
Folks, today I am in a casual setting, sitting on these rattan chairs by the pool inside Lake Elementaita Manor. Is it Manor, Wilson, or Mana?
Mana.
Mana.
Mwalimu English.
Mwalimu English wangu ndo
is a big factor, man.
Ndo ina depend.
Mwalimu English, hapo ana come into play.
All right, so the word is on the screen. How do you pronounce it? Lake Elementaita Manor, Mana.
Wewe ndio iko hapa.
Okay. All right, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are inside Lake Elementaita Manor. And today I want to spend this day with Wilson here touring some of their projects. I was actually surprised that Lake Elementaita Manor is a brainchild of these guys, you know. So I've been mentioning these guys here on my channel known as concept builders. You know, they design and build apartments, houses, mansionettes, etc. Now I was shocked. Basically, they design and build structures. I was shocked that Lake Elementaita Manor was designed by these guys. So nikamwambia hapana, lazima tufike Manor na yeah, as we also go to to other projects ambazo wanafanya. Okay, so concept kwanza. Mbona hujai niambia hii time yote tumejuana like 2 years? Ya kwamba this Manor, the magnificent Manor, you know, celebrities have come here.
Yes, yes.
Recently I saw Terence Creative.
Yes, yes.
With his wife, they were here.
Yes.
They spent, I don't know, a weekend here at Manor.
Yes.
Na hujai niambia bana, ni wewe ndo umedesign hii kitu?
Churchill, najua unaona.
Yes, even Churchill, yes, yeah.
Yes. Hidden gems. Yeah, exclusivity. Pige mdomo, kazi ongea. Yeah?
You know, there's a
mambo na hidden gems, eh?
Yeah,
but largely kazi ongea.
Yeah. Kazi jiongee peke yake.
Kazi jiongee. The rest comes into place in due course.
Yeah, you know, actually you've mentioned hidden gem. There's a diaspora client, okay, not client, fan of our YouTube channel. There's another place that I featured, a resort, and I said hidden gem. Actually, they told me, Ezra, those hidden gems need not to be hidden, you know, like they should be revealed. And today, although I'm not here to do a tour of Lake Elementaita Manor, I'll do it another day. Today we are on the construction part. Well, surely these hidden gems, they need to be out there.
They need to be known.
Yeah.
But I think this particular facility also does a lot of activation on social media.
Yeah, they are big on Instagram, actually.
Yes. So it's able to, that platform and others are able to attract the clientele. And I believe they will be doing a lot of more such activities now that we are expanding the occupancy capacity of the existing and new developments on this particular facility.
Okay.
To be able to accommodate more lessons that the management of this facility has learned in the recent past.
Okay.
They've been getting more clientele with each passing day. So instead of turning away clients to other facilities, we are looking into growing occupancy so that they're able to accommodate more clients, but at the same time retain the exclusivity and the beautiful fauna that you see is nestled.
It is wonderful.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so folks, my name is EZRA ONDARA. We do real estate content in Nakuru, house hunting in Nakuru. We do vlogs around Nakuru, and we also promote businesses in Nakuru. So today in our real estate segment, we are spending a day with Wilson here, like I've said. And without further ado, let's get started with the title of the video, Frequently Asked Questions About Construction in Kenya. Wilson,
yes.
We have this one here.
Yeah.
From the concept to what we are seeing now.
Yes, yes.
Somebody else wants to build,
Yes.
whether it is a resort like this, whether it is an apartment, whether it is their house, bungalow, mansionette,
Yes.
what information do you need from a client for you to go to the next step?
Fundamentally, first and foremost, the client needs to have a basic idea of what they want to do. I believe they would have the land in the first place, but they need to have an idea of what they want to do with the land. Then professionals will come in place to guide them. And also there's also a basis in terms of that due diligence to be able to do market survey. If you want to do commercial developments, whether this kind or other kinds, have a basic understanding of how those developments come about and how they operate. Just basically for sustainability.
Okay.
Both short term and long term. And then just have a basic idea of what you want to do. Present that idea to a professional, in this case an architect, and they'll be able now to guide and help guide and streamline that particular idea in terms of design and what have you. Yeah.
All right, so the idea is now on your table.
Yes.
Typically, many people out here,
Yeah.
they have heard of a plan.
Yeah.
So now the idea is on your table.
Yes.
How long does it take for you to conceptualize that idea and now give them a plan?
It does take quite a bit of time, depending on the scale and scope. For instance, EZRA, designing a custom 3-bedroom house. When I say custom, I mean it doesn't look like any other person's house. It is custom and tailored
To me.
to your liking.
Yeah.
So anything from, say, depending on how a client is able to appreciate the design and accept and approve progress, anything from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Complete designs ready for approval with the relevant 3D animation. Then as you escalate, as you go up, depending on scale, mansionettes, a month. Apartments could even take more, depending on the detail and the scale and the scope of that particular apartment. But you see, they are just contemporary units. The clients vary. They're guys who are basically, when it comes to commercial buildings, they are more keen on turnover and the number of units. But there are clients, again, who are very precise and particular the kind of development they want to engage themselves with and how they turn out. Those kind of designs would definitely take a lot more time, because you find that you may present 1 or 2 or 3 ideas and build around one idea that's acceptable, that can be streamlined and can be cutthroat. It definitely takes more than a month to be able to generate a design that is worth its salt, that will stand the test over time. All the time. Whether it's, I would say, now anything from a mansionette going upwards. Now developments like this scale, on this scale, take a lot more time on the idea and design stage.
A resort like this?
Yes, because you have a lot of meetings going through all the nitty-gritties and all the ideas that are coming on board and streamlining them to make sure you have, because this is entirely a commercial driven enterprise.
Yeah.
So make it streamlined, make it very cutthroat. It's able to stand the test of time in terms of attraction and appeal, to be able to sustain clients walking in or wanting to visit every other time. Yeah.
So now, back to this place, because you have mentioned it.
Yeah.
So typically it's you who decided we'll place the swimming pool here, we'll have the reception on that end, we'll have the bar on that end.
We advise through the processes of design and capture those ideas in design, and we're able to, software is able to simulate. So all ideas, because we don't expect the client and the professional to share the same ideology. A professional is working from technical parameters based on their professional background and training. A client is more empathetic. I think. So that exchange, that's the reason why. The scale and scope of a design would take from anything from 2 weeks and more
And
going
more.
onwards.
Yeah,
Because there's continuous engagement.
Yeah.
So that there's harmonization of ideas,
Okay.
thoughts, and design.
Okay.
So that we can capture the essence of and the vision of that particular development or concept in its entirety, in function and in form. Yeah.
And today I see there is more construction here at Manor.
Yes.
What's happening?
So, as I told you before, we are looking at increasing capacity.
Okay.
Capacity in terms of being able to host more people at the restaurant front.
Okay.
What we did at the restaurant area is we pulled down the old kitchen, basically, and did a new thing altogether.
Okay.
Maintaining certain functions so that they don't close. They didn't have to close the facility. So then increasing the capacity of the conference facility, along with the restrooms along that particular section. And now on...
Those are accommodation?
These are accommodation units. So also increasing an additional floor on one block. And now there's a development going on for a new block. Just basically being able to increase hosting capacity. Yes. And also now, if you look now on the greater landscape, there's a lot of landscape.
Yes, I see.
The terrain and also make the place beautiful. As you can see, there are very nice
gardens,
gardens here and trees. So there's a lot of irrigation going on just to ensure that we maintain the ambient and the beauty of this place intact and pristine to be able to attract people into this place. So that is basically the noise and
machines running.
That's all construction. But in a few days, it's toning down. So actually, we are looking at toning down so that now operations can resume. And now the only building that will be progressing is the new building. Because the rest will be done on the days that we don't have occupancy or less busy days.
So another thing that people know out there is that there are approvals involved in construction.
Yes.
So what are these approvals that are involved, and how long does it take for one to get those approvals?
So the first tier of approvals, is where you start from. Number one is the county government approvals. We have what we call a county government physical planning department that is responsible for approving all construction projects that are going on within the county. So basically, once the architect has completed designs and they're ready for submission, they will be furnished by the client the relevant requisite information that, for instance, we require a copy of the title, a copy of the client's or developer's KRA PIN, a copy of the client's national
Do they ask for ID? Okay.
Yes. Land search, official certificate of land search. Counties require you to clear land rates. So they require you to provide them with land rate clearance certificates that you're paid up. You don't owe them anything. Then you submit along with the plans any other documentation they would require, depending on the scale and the scope. Because all projects require documentation, but at different scales and scope, depending on that kind of what kind of project that you're undertaking. You submit those. Once you've submitted those, there will be reviews. So reviews with the relevant departments within the county physical planning. You have the public health department, you have the lands department, you have the physical planning itself, you have the county engineers department. So they will review those documents. So depending on the volume, the kind of documentation is stacked up to be addressed. It takes anything from a month or two to get your approvals at county levels done. So that's the first year. So once you've gotten approvals at the county, depending now again on the scale of the project, like commercial developments, you require NEMA, environmental impact assessment on that particular project done and get NEMA approvals. Then you would also require approval from national construction authorities, where all professionals or project consultants submit their documentation along with your approved documents, and national construction authority is able to authenticate. That takes anything from 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and that is complete. NEMA will take about the same time, a month. So we would say holistically, depending on the scale, it's anything from say 2 months to around 4 months.
Okay. Okay.
And sometimes when the projects are intricate, now you'd expect them to take a longer time because there's a lot of engagement between the relevant authorities or requirements that are being also raised, and the professionals would have to submit those requirements and be able to provide information as demanded by those regulatory authorities.
All right.
Yeah.
So now, are there instances when your plan is rejected by the county?
Very few instances. Actually, what you have is, like for instance, I would say, you'd get notes on the plans, on the revisions that need to be made, amendments that need to be made to meet the parameters for approval. If the physical planner deems that your plans have deficient specification or accompanying information.
So, what if a client's plan is rejected?
Very rarely.
Oh, okay.
Very rarely.
Okay.
So because largely the reason why you're engaging a professional is that you're able to be able to certify and be able to satisfy all the requirements that are mandatory for approval.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you're not submitting in a vacuum. You're all from an unknown.
It's not for you're not submitting and hoping that it will be.
No. There are set parameters and guidelines which the professional has to adhere to. So that's why you're engaging them. So that in design and in detail, they're able to certify and satisfy those requirements.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So folks, from here, let us switch lanes to Naka Estate in Nakuru City, where Wilson here, they have another project ongoing there, even as we keep tackling the frequently asked questions about construction in Kenya. More to come, including who sources for materials for construction. Is it the contractor or you, the client? And many more questions to come as well. Wilson, tuende Naka sasa.
Sawa.
Haya. Folks, sasa tumefika Naka Estate in Nakuru, and in this estate, concept builders, they are building the classiest apartments in Nakuru. Yes, I've been calling them the classiest apartments since day one. I think we have done how many episodes, Wilson, now? This is the 4th episode?
The
third episode now. You know, so I was here when they were doing the groundbreaking. Tangu ma excavators zikuwe hapa.
Yes.
Nikakuja tukifanya slab ya kwanza.
I think the first.
Yeah.
Yes, the first.
Now you guys have gone like 2 floors high.
Yes.
3.
We're on the 4th floor now.
You are now heading to 4th floor.
Yes.
And we have the structure. It is right here. Mnaiona. Sasa niko kwa Wilson, hapa tuko wapi? Unajua saizi now the rooms they are,
I think we're on
they have taken shape.
We're on the 3-bedroom unit.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And this is the lounge.
This is the lounge. From that point all the way to where you see the window, that's the lounge.
Hebu nikuulize, hiyo ni dirisha?
Yote ni dirisha.
Whoa. Now we are talking. I think I'm going to book my apartment.
Comfort.
When are you expecting to complete this?
By the end of this year, December, we should be done.
December?
Yes.
So December nianza kujipanga kupata unit yangu hapa.
Exactly.
We are going to how many floors again? 6? Plus
the
rooftop.
7th being the roof slab.
Thank you. Sasa mimi nataka uko 6th floor, naona lake ile pande. This other side naona the highway.
Naona highway.
Nakuru,
as a matter of fact, right now you can see the highway.
Yes.
It's very conspicuous. Now the lake has been visible from first floor.
Yeah, so, actually from first floor to the lake.
You can see the lake side.
Yeah.
But the people who are on the highest floors will be able to see the lake shore.
Yeah, because I was up there and the apartments next door.
Yes.
Kitambo when we were flying the drone. Corona iko juu. Saizi we are like the same level.
Exactly. You just give it time. Day by day, we're getting there.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell our viewers at this point, what is going on here before
right now, as you've seen, I think we are, for coincidentally, you want to get to us when we're doing our shutter work preparation.
Yeah.
Preparations for steel fixing on the slabs, the beam reinforcement, and the laying of the hollow blocks. As you can see from being on the top of the slab, you'll be able to see there's a lot of steel work going on, steel fixing work, there's foam work around beams, covering the soffits of the slab, and at the same time there's a lot of steel fixing activities and laying of the hollow blocks on there. So that's basically it. But at the same time, I've also seen the plumbing technicians are also as well on site. We're expecting that tomorrow we're going to have the electrical technicians to start providing for electrical conduits on the slab, and so on.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So before I ask the next question, I notice the ceiling is quite high.
Yes.
Are you planning to do gypsum or something?
Yes. The headroom is deliberate in design. Is to be able to allow for efficient circulation of air, and at the same time to be able to allow for aesthetics in terms of gypsum ceiling and also chandeliers and what have you.
Nice.
So we needed the headroom to be sufficient enough to be able to provide such. Yeah.
I'm coming here. By the time you finish, I'm coming here. Back to the frequently asked questions. So if somebody already has a plan, somebody has the architectural drawings. So what do they do now?
When they
actually, there's somebody who told me, true story, that I have the drawings, and I think I contacted you. There's a lady who wanted to build in Sotik, so she said she has the drawings. So what next?
If she has the drawings and the designs, then she sources for reputable builders. Builders would, maybe for instance, if it's not a serious commercial building, you're talking about maybe a bungalow, that requires that she identifies a foreman to be able to provide oversight, along with our project consultants. By project consultant, I mean definitely she got the services of an architect. The architect will be able to oversight on a consultancy basis till completion of that particular project. And if it's a multi-story building, then she would also require a project structural engineer to provide oversight of the same until completion. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, personal residences.
Oh, okay. So now, when it comes to the actual building, who sources for the materials? Is it the contractor or is it the client?
Well, you realize from moving around, when you realize there are buildings that have been put up by contractors. There are buildings that are also being put up by individuals, the developers themselves. And sometimes you find they hire persons to supervise. These are foremen. So in scenarios where they have hired their own project supervisors, for instance, a foreman, you'd find procurement of materials and supply of materials is on the client, on the developer themselves. But where a client or an entity has hired contractors, they would never agree. Where they would either award the contractor a full contract, where the contractor supplies materials and supplies labor and delivers a finished product. Or they may decide that the developers provide materials and the contractor provides labor that is required to put up that building. So it's an open market.
So either can do.
It's not structured and fixed that when you hire a contractor has, it depends on your terms of engagement.
Still on materials, I've had issues. I've had people say, hearsay, that on sites, I don't know, materials are stolen. Sijui mafundi, sijui wanatoka na simiti, unamletea lori mzima, wanaweka sijui nusu, ingine wanapitisha wapi. Are you faced with such incidences?
In our sites, hardly. I would say hardly. We are yet to face that kind of challenge. For the simple reason, as a prerequisite, by statute, we are required to do what we call site holding. Site holding is securing the site. That you have access and control. Who accesses the site and who comes out of the site. So you provide site security. There's individuals who are charged with controlling who is able to access the site and come out of the site. And control what goes out of the site and comes into the site. So if those mechanisms are not provided for, either by the developer and the contractor, then those lapses will occur. But once you've ensured there is control on how access is gotten into the site and how exit is gotten out of the site. That is structured in a way that it eliminates lapses in security. And as a matter of fact, there are many opportunities right now in terms of technology to be able to provide site security.
Okay.
Yeah, right now you can have CCTV coverage that is directly connected to your phone.
Yeah, sure.
You're able to monitor how work is going on. You're able to monitor how material deliveries are getting into site, and so on and so forth. Then the rest is largely documentation.
Okay.
When materials are being delivered on site, you need to have record keeping on how materials are delivered, quantities.
Okay.
Because that's how, on the basis of those deliveries, is what payment is made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard even from a landlord, who told me, I don't know, they realized when they were now doing the wiring.
Yes.
So they realized that the wires were actually missing from those conduits.
Yes.
So the switches are there.
Yes.
So they are pressing the switch, light is not coming on. What's happening?
I've heard of those
So
instances.
that, I don't know, from their assumption is that somebody must have come.
Yes.
They
I've heard of those instances.
They removed the switch.
But you see, that's what I'm maintaining in terms of a prerequisite. You need to be able, as a prerequisite, be able to have a structured approach to how you supply materials and secure them on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, habari zenu nyote, karibu sana Advent Med and Dent Care Center. Do you have teeth problems? Do you have pain in your mouth? Do you have bleeding gums? Do you have gaps on your teeth? Do you have brown teeth? Kuna meno zinakuuma mahali? Kuna shida yote ya mdomo? Tafadhali visit us at Advent Med and Dent Care Center. We are located at Polo Center, first floor. We will give you all services pertaining dentistry. We do dental consultations. We offer dental x-rays. We offer children's dentistry. We do replacement of teeth. We do braces. We do extractions. We do surgeries. We do teeth whitening. You are welcome for all services pertaining to dentistry at Advent Med and Dent Care Center. Karibuni sana. My name is Dr. Sunday. Thank you.
So now we are actually at an apartment here.
Yeah.
So looking at Naka largely,
Yes.
I actually like the construction in Naka. Like every apartment is standing on its own parcel of land.
Yes.
And they're not like block to block, zimeshikana hivi.
Yes.
And
back to back.
Yeah, it's not back to back.
Beacon to beacon.
It's not beacon to beacon, something that I hate. So, but if I may ask you, why do some people build apartments like that, touching each other? Mahali inamalizia ingine inaanzia hapo. Hii inamalizia hapo, ingine inaanzia hapo. And now you find even on this side here where zinashikana, now there is no dirisha there.
I think you'll appreciate developers come in different forms.
Okay.
They vary.
Okay.
I told you a while back they vary.
Yeah.
So there are people who are largely driven by turnover and the number of units.
Okay.
So if with that case in mind, then you'd expect beacon to beacon construction.
Yeah.
However, you'd be surprised to realize that is discouraged from our building code.
Okay.
Yes.
But I go to like
supposed to
Roysambu.
offset your buildings.
Like Roysambu, for instance, I go there and every apartment imeshikana ingine.
My only response is that is Kenya for you.
Okay. But I love here in Naka, I see that apartment on its own, another one, like there is room to breathe.
There's due diligence by Nakuru Physical Planning Department.
Okay.
By the time you're getting to submit your plans, as I told you previously, they look through certain parameters and provisions which are supposed to be adhered to. So you have to, as a designer, as an architect, you have to certify and satisfy those conditions. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but still, even here in Nakuru, there's an apartment that I saw, but it only had madirisha huku mbele, huku kuote hivi. On the side, the rear, the other side, no window.
Yes.
I'm like, man, how will people breathe in there?
Yes.
You know? But anyway, you're told this is Kenya for us.
That is Kenya for you.
All right, so now, on your end,
Yes.
What measures do you take to ensure that a project is cost effective?
Cost effective. First, for a project to be cost effective, it starts with the design. Yeah, because there's no way you can begin to have a conversation about a project being cost effective if the design in itself is not cost effective. For instance, one of the reasons why you find many contemporary apartments and buildings, even residences, being open plan, the omission of those wall partitions is a cost reduction by itself.
Okay.
So that's why I said from design.
Even this one is an open concept.
Yes, from design. So, from that design, you're able to mitigate against cost. Then the other element is the construction approach and methodology. So number one, you realize on this particular project, we are using what we call hollow blocks. Reducing the concrete, the volume of concrete, the volume of steel. That has a repercussion on the quantity of, or in terms of labor requirement, and it is a ripple effect across the board on the material requirement. So that in turn translates into cost reduction.
All right.
So the design, construction methodology, and approach. I think we from like Elementator Manor, if you had an opportunity to walk into some units, we're using what we call EPS panels, expanded polystyrene materials, which are very lightweight. So, but in turn, there's a cost reduction on material on the same, a cost reduction on labor on the same. So there's that ripple effect in terms of cost reduction. So cost reduction and be able to have a cost-effective project stems from design, construction methodology, and approach.
Okay.
That's why you remember in our previous video, we talked about having a versatile architect and having a versatile structural engineer who is exposed to all these methodologies and technologies, and being able to explore the potential and the opportunity to integrate them on a project.
So. Folks, let us continue on the third site that we are visiting today. Of course, still under concept builders, but this one is it a mansionette or a bungalow?
Which one? This one's an apartment.
No, the one.
That one is a mansionette. It's
a mansionette.
Yes.
It's a residence.
Yes.
So, guys, let's go there. 3 more questions to ask him, and then we conclude this interview. Concept. By the way, we have our engineer who? Engineer Caleb is right here. You can just come and say hi. Is in this project. Wilson has mentioned about having a structural engineer.
Yes. Yeah.
Caleb, you are a structural engineer?
Yeah, I'm a structural engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many years of experience?
1 going to 2.
So,
you're learning.
You're learning.
Learning from the best.
He's a graduate engineer.
Registered
with the engineers board.
Awesome.
Yeah. So much as he doesn't have confidence to assert himself, but you've seen on that residence, I'm hoping to have him more on that residence. In terms of supervisory, so you'll be engaging with him.
Caleb.
Yes.
Tutapatana huko. Acha tuelekee huko basi. Sawa, engineer Caleb, endelea. Mnafanya kazi safi. The columns naona zimesimama vizuri. The work iko tu. Yani kazi tu iko safi in short. Folks, after that short break, sasa tumefika Ngata. Now, Wilson, before tuende mbali, how big is this parcel?
Overall an acre, but where we are doing the perimeter wall, half an acre.
This is an acre.
Overall, as in overall, whatever belongs to the person, to the owner, is 1 acre. Where we are doing the perimeter wall, half an acre.
It's half an acre.
Yeah, where the residence is going to be.
Well, thank you. Very important.
Yes,
you know why I've asked you that
very,
question?
very important.
Yeah, why I've asked you that question? Recently, I made another video and I was telling folks, if you have to get a property, out of town, in a kind of a reserve area, get an acre. Why would you go for a 50 by 100 in a place like this?
Exactly.
So I've been here and now this one is going to drive that point home. Okay, wacha tu wajione bila hata mimi kuexplain.
Look on animation what the resident that is coming up here.
Thank you.
So you show them what
you
are planning to do.
Yeah. So right here, concept builders, they are going to build a mansionette here.
Yeah, 5-bedroom mansionette.
Nice.
Complete with a family room, a study, and we have an open plan ground level lounge and dining and kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's a very exclusive property.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
5-bedroom mansion. Which means ukiwa na parcel kama hii on the side, you can even have your kitchen garden, you have your playground. Exactly. What are the kind of amenities hapa? Is there a swimming pool maybe?
Manicured lawn, we have a gazebo, we have a carport. Yeah, just the basics.
Okay.
But the residence is very elaborate. Yeah.
Very nice. So folks, have you seen diaspora, wale watu wangu I made a video about 2 weeks ago nikiwaambia jameni, if you have to go reserve, get an acre, don't settle for a 50 by 100. So now where we are standing, if you look at the views, you look at the surrounding on that side there, it is hilly. Here we are on another hillside, and the road coming from town to Njoro is just down there, somewhere. Okay, concept.
Yes.
So there is, you guys brand yourself as design and build.
Yes.
Can you maybe tell potential investors about design and building?
We generate a project design for your prospective project. We cost it, we generate bills of quantities, and then we are able to engage on the basis of those bills of quantities or material and labor schedule, and engage on the basis of that. And if we are able to agree, we build for you. Yeah, but it's not a must that we design and build for somebody. They have the option of just getting a design from us. They can engage us on supervisory and consultancy basis. We supervise their project to completion, and where they need that finesse, that touch of finesse, I think we are the go-to people. Yeah, finesse is where you do best. Yes. Maybe I can mention to them one project that I hooked up these guys to do. There's a project at White House Nakuru there, White House Milimani area there. So the developer had already done the plastering and everything. So they were given some samples of paint. But then, I'm close to this guy. So he asked me, which color scheme do we go with? Or can we get somebody to do that for us? And this guy here, I refer to them, and they came up with 2 color schemes. The developer chose one. It is the property standing right there, the apartment block at White House Milimani. I think it is Basswood apartment. Basswood apartment. Yes. It's really awesome. Yes. So you guys also do contracting. Yes. You're also a contractor. Yes. Or your company. Yes, exactly. So how does one become a contractor? What are the qualifications? One is basically first you have to be a registered company, with the register of companies. Then now you apply for registration so that you can be a registered contractor with National Construction Authority.
NCA.
So that, yes, NCA. So that now you are authorized to do a particular class of works under a particular license. And you can always scale up as you desire going forward. Yeah, because that license is the practicing license, a contractor's practice license runs every financial year. So you're obliged to renew that license annually.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can always scale up based on the basis of your works and capacity to each alternate level or advanced level. Yeah.
Concept, I've gone to some construction projects and I find NCA with a big X. What does that mean? Is it that they did
lack
not
of
go?
compliance.
So how did they start building?
Compliance and adherence. As explained.
Because you talked about approvals.
Yes.
Does it mean they didn't go through the process of approvals?
I gave you the number of tiers of approvals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Number one, there's the county approvals. Compliance with the county regulations on the basis of those approvals.
NEMA.
You have National Environmental Management Agency approvals, environmental impact assessment, that you have already done that on the basis of your project. Then you have NCA project registration and compliance. So now you have to register your construction project with NCA. For you to do that, you require approvals to attach your project designs and working drawings approved from the county and NEMA, along with your professionals and consultants, their accreditations to NCA.
Okay.
Now, if you do not do that and don't get the compliance certificate, when NCA comes to verify and they do not find compliance, they will mark that project as non-compliant. Secondly, if you're not adhering to the building code, there are discrepancies within the provided specifications in design, and you're not complying or adhering to them, they will raise issues.
Okay. So are you saying there are folks who deliberately, will I say deliberately?
Yes.
I mean, they just proceed with construction without, meeting all those requirements.
I think you've heard of the proverbial statement, kesi badai.
Kesi badai.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anasema tu, jenga bwana.
Yes.
Badai tutasoma tu huko mbele. Yeah, because I got some projects I see NCA, X. Yeah. And they even put a date actually.
It's a non-compliance, non-adherence.
Okay,
yeah. So compliance is compliance with what NCA regulations. Adherence of being compliant to specification and regulation. It could be NCA or NEMA or, because NCA is an oversight body, it will oversee that you're compliant on every aspect, compliant at the county government front. NEMA, professionals are also compliant with them. So if there's a lack of compliance and adherence, they raise issue.
All right. Yeah. So now, as a real estate enthusiast, there's something that usually makes me sad. When I see a project like this one taking off, I feel there's some kind of joy in me, even if it is not mine. There's some excitement that builds in me.
Exactly.
When I see apartments coming up in town, I really feel excited. Malls coming up, etc. I feel excited about all of that. And then sadly, along the way, the project stalls. You wait for a month, no progress. 2 months, 1 year. Some projects have stalled for 10 years. What could make a project to stall?
Well, there are a number of factors. We are human. You can become incapacitated, and in that regard, your project will stall. You'll have to suspend or postpone. Owing either health issues or whatever issue that arises that is a priority at that particular point in time as a person. Under speculation in terms of costing. Because you can begin thinking that I have 10 million and 10 million is what is going to cost me to complete this project. So along the way, because either you are illy advised, you do not have consultants like a quantity surveyor advising you on cost, how much this project is supposed to cost you, and you're just going on the mere speculation that since 10 million
it
is adequate. Lazima imalize. So along the way, reality checks in.
Okay.
And then you're reliably informed by reality
Yeah.
that your 10 million is not adequate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there could be financial problems.
Yes, and then
like
more
you
than
said.
often is that under speculation or under estimation in terms of cost.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think you've encountered more than often sikuwa najua this phrase. Sikuwa najua ita cost hivi. Kumbe kujenga foundation ni bei.
Foundation
Kumbe
pekee.
kuwekelea roof ni yes, those kind of state because in essence what you're supposed to do as you generate designs for your prospective project. Generate as well bills of quantities and costing. Try and anticipate professionally how much it will cost you
Okay.
to undertake that project.
Okay.
So that now you can be able to second guess yourself and you know, ujiteka mkutano and advise yourself accordingly whether the wherewith to be able to undertake is in place.
Okay.
Yes.
So one last question, last but not least, that is. So recently, just sometime last year, Okia Omtata was speaking in the Senate.
Yes.
Akisema kwamba the parliament buildings,
Yes.
they have developed cracks.
Yes.
To me, I'm looking at that like, how can a structure that size,
Yes.
you know, develop cracks? So when there are cracks, vitu kama hiyo, and we have seen some buildings collapse.
Yes,
you know, people evacuated. Told this building is, you know.
Yes.
So who's to blame for such a case?
Who
Is it
takes
you, the contractor? Is it the architects? Is it the engineers? Is it the developer? You know.
More often than not, it's not every day we have building collapsing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
On very few occasions,
Rare instances.
we have buildings collapsing. I think we have regulatory bodies that we are able to provide a lot of oversight and investigation to ascertain the causes. Because in design, particularly from a structural design perspective, a structural engineer or engineer will try and anticipate all forces that are working for or against any structure, not buildings necessarily. That's why the phrase or the reference term is structure.
Yeah.
So, and scientifically carry out analysis and be able to generate a specification and the best specifications in terms of reinforcement and concrete class or whatever it is in terms of construction approach to be able to sustain a building for the life. And life is not perpetual on buildings. One of the things that, for instance, some of these national monuments, I want to believe some of them at some point will require retrofitting. Yeah. Because the age would have caught up with them.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so they would have, consultants will have to be consulted and hired to be able to advise on the best approach to retrofit and strengthen that building to sustain that national monument.
Like they have done for
not
status.
Necessarily, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, the reason why there are visual cracks at the National Assembly does not mean it's bad workmanship.
Okay.
It may more just mean that the age of that building is coming to its term and it's catching up with it and beginning to show.
Just 6 years.
Gray hairs.
It
doesn't mean I'm
the building is barely 6 years old.
No, I don't know whether it is the old one or the new one.
It's the new one. Okia Omtata was talking about the new one.
Yes,
the Bunge Tower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then there are things, again, as a disclaimer, I don't know whether it was you or somebody else when I told you any new building over a period of 1 to 2 years, it will experience what we call differential settlement.
Oh, settlement, yeah.
So in other words, it's finding its natural resting place. Within that period, you're bound to see hair-like fixtures, not cracks on structural members. When I mean structural members, I mean columns and beams. But if on, say, masonry walling, it can experience some hair-like, but not conspicuous gaping cracks. Hair-like, nearly-like. Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
All right.
So those are bound to present within the first 1 or 2 years. Because the building, overall, that weight that it has accumulated has to settle.
It's now settled.
Yes.
Vizuri kabisa.
Now, what causes concern is when there are structural members that are experiencing extreme differential settlement. For instance, one column pad is settling more than the rest,
the other,
and that predisposes risk on that building. But hii ni masomo tu kidogo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Hiyo masomo from the experts here, you know, Wilson, the director of Concept Builders. So folks, those were 12 frequently asked questions about construction. Okay, construction works. So if you have more, drop them in the comments. We can still do another episode on the same. We have been at Lake Elementaita Manor. You let us know, how do you spell that? Then we came to Naka Estate, where they're doing an apartment. Wow, Wilson, you've done a resort, an apartment, now a mansionette. Is there anything you can't do in construction?
That's why I use the word structures.
Structures. So you do structures.
So we're not limited to buildings or basically what people know so much. We also do design out of and construction out of the known.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, structures. Folks, time to go for lunch bana. Tuko hapa Ngata, jua imewaka. Jua ya February, jamini, tumeni lunch hata nyenye. Wilson, unajua kwa Lilian?
Tuende huko.
Tuende huko.
Mimi niko njaa.
Tuende bana. Folks, see you in the next one. Alright folks, so tumefika kwa Lilian. Sasa, too much work without food makes Ezra a dull boy. Sasa tuko hapa kwa Lilian. Lilian amekaa hapa. Lilian, mambo? Simeshaimuona? Huyu hapa Lilian. Salamia ama unakula?
Salama sana. Nimemaliza kula.
Ugali brown iko tayari? Na samaki? So that's what we are having.
Karibu.
Folks,
Karibu.
this is Lilian.
Most welcome.
Nishaimleta tena kwa hii channel. Haya, Concept. Twende bana tuone
Karibu.
bana.
Kuja na niweke.
Kukula. Kukula bana. Bana leta ingine ama niende hii yangu. Oda.
Wameonea wiza
Nyingine hapo
anafunika. Unajua kamera inanipeleka hapo.
Ati ugali inakuja na ingine ama ni
hapa ni hii.
hata mchezo. Siko kukumbuka hiyo.
Tukijenga sisi.
Hebu fanya tena.
Aje. Sija bado ya
Lazima ianze kwanza mahali. Sasa hii atafanya hapo. Ile yenye alifanya.
ati ugali inakuja na ingine ama ni hii tu pekee yake.
Ama ni hiyo moja.
Lilian. Hii ndio ya brown ikuja na nyingine.
Inakuja na ingine.
Itabidi. Sasa hii ni palm moja.
Wilson.
Sio mimi. Ni mgeni.
Haya, kuleni ya mgeni kidogo.
Mimi si mgeni, sinakula hapa
Amekuwa
jijini.
hapa hata.
Mimi si mgeni, hapa jiji nimekula nyama na ugali. Na nikaongeza ugali mzima. Leta ugali.
Hiyo na mwanangu itabidi hata on this occasion.
Mimi nilikuja na nani hapa? Bila. Kamanda ananiambia nilipia dafu na bala. So utapata lakini korogo unajua ni Monday. Yes, unaweza fanya zingine zingia sasa.
Chakula yetu bodi inaonekana kweli.
Zingine ni chuo. Hebu confirm na yeye.
Inaonekana.
Ndio nilipia.
Mimi ndio yangu imefunika.
Wewe ndio ongea na ana sio.
Maji. Iko sawa.
Pilipili.
Ndio ya brown iko fiti concept. Iko fiti.
Mami. Sasa nimefika mchezo hapa utaki kufika vitu na nini. Fanya kama wewe.
Uwezi anza kushika shika.
Ukishaka mchezo hapa utaki mambo. Kufika kitu na kinini katakata. Wanasema na hii lugha ni ngado. Ngado. Sasa kukatakata unasema aje? Ngado.
Kukata ni kina.
Nini pia ya kukatakata? Vile tu nimesema. Mimi ni hatari.
Unarudia.
Mimi ni hatari. Unajua sio ngado.
Kama kata ni ngado, so katakata ni ngado.
Ni kurudia.